However, if a person were to do that in front of the people, so that the people can say nice things about him, oh mashallah, he's so generous, oh mashallah, he has so much money, he's so detached from the worldly matters, he gives so much. If that's why he donated the money, that was his intention when he donated the money, then this act, because of his heart, turned into something else. It turned into a sin for him because of what he intended in his heart. This is actually why some of the scholars, they call the intention the elixir of the deeds. The elixir of the deeds. Because the elixir, in this case, this figurative elixir, turns an act which would normally be something good for that specific person, it turns it into something bad for him. Why? Because his intention. Like in our example about the person donating, so that people can say good things about him. But, to look on the bright side, the intention also can turn something regular, something that doesn't have reward in it usually, into something that gets him reward in the hereafter. Which draws us to an important point. The heart can be a reason for your salvation, and it can be a reason for your destruction. And depending on what you do with your heart, one single act can be converted into something great or into something despicable. And we'll give an example right now, inshaAllah. One time Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and this is an example of turning something small into something great. One time Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, سبق درهم مئة ألف درهم. A dirham is a silver coin. It's less in value than a gold coin. He said one silver coin surpassed 100,000 silver coins. And how is that? And what's the story behind it? It happened that a person donated one silver coin. But there was another person that donated 100,000 silver coins. Now, if you take a look at just the quantity of silver coins, you would expect that the person who donated 100,000 silver coins got so much reward. Way more than the person who only donated one silver coin. But the Prophet ﷺ said that one silver coin surpassed 100,000 silver coins. And so how is that? Well, the story behind this is that there was a man who was very wealthy. He donated 100,000 silver coins. He had so much money, this 100,000 silver coins was like change to him. Another man, he only donated one silver coin. However, that man, he only had 2 silver coins to his name. He took one of them and he donated it lillahi ta'ala. Because of that man, the one who donated 1 silver coin, because of his extreme reliance, his great reliance upon Allah, and his detachment from the dunya, and his attachment to the hereafter, he donated half of his wealth. Because if he wasn't like that, he usually wouldn't have donated half of his wealth. So because of that, and because of his intention, he gained more reward from that donation than the man who donated 100,000 silver coins. MashaAllah. Just think, let's just reflect on that one story and ask yourself this. Inside, ask yourself. Would you donate half of everything that you owned just like that? If you would, hani'an lakum. How about this? If someone told you, donate right now half of everything you own, would you? Okay, let's talk about something else regarding insincerity before we move on. There's 2 more issues that we want to clarify. Insincerity, not only does it carry the enormity of a sin, but it also does something else. It annihilates the reward of that deed. So let's go back to the example of the person who donates money. Donating money lillahi ta'ala is a rewardable deed. It's something good. A person is eligible to get reward from that deed in the hereafter. However, if when he's donating that money, he was insincere, he was showing off, he gets nothing of that. He gets no reward at all. And on top of that, he gets an enormous sin. So not only does he get an enormous sin, he gets no reward for what he did. He gets no reward for what he did. It is a waste because he lost. He lost reward and he disobeyed Allah, and he deserves punishment. He lost. That money left, and he didn't get anything in return except blame and shame. Okay, what then? Let's go to the example of the person that's reciting Quran in a nice way, right? Because beautifying the voice while reciting the Quran is something good. Let's say this person, soon as he started, he was showing off. So what is his case? He gets an enormous sin for committing ar-riya. He gets no reward for that recitation. But, and we all know that when someone disobeys Allah, it's an obligation upon him to repent, to make tawbah. He has to. It's an obligation. That means he has to, for example, he has to feel sorry that he disobeyed Allah. He has to feel remorse. Real remorse. Remorse because he disobeyed the Creator. And he must stop doing it. He must stop doing it. He can't continue to do it and say, I made tawbah. No, he didn't make tawbah. He's still doing it. He has to stop. And he has to feel that remorse. And he has to intend never to do it again. Never. Hmm? So back to our example of the person reciting Quran in a nice way. So we said he started off from the get-go showing off, reciting in a beautiful voice so that people can talk nice about him and say, MashaAllah, that person, he recites so nicely, his voice is so nice, MashaAllah. Then, in the middle of his recitation, he repented to Allah. He felt remorse that he did insincerity. He intended never to do it again. And he quit. So, if he did all those things, his tawbah is valid. But everything that he did while showing off, he gets no reward for. What about after he made tawbah? After he made tawbah, if he has a good intention, doing it lillahi ta'ala, now he can get reward for his deed. What happened after tawbah, not what happened before when he was showing off. Is this clear? Any questions about this? About what we talked about? No? Shaykh. The last thing that I would like to mention about this disease before we move on to the next is that insincerity occurs whether the person did that good act solely for the people's praise, or he mixed his intention. A little bit of intending the praise of the people and a little bit of seeking reward from Allah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mixing it together when he's doing this good deed. This is insincerity. This is insincerity. Insincerity occurs when the person does it only for the people, and it also occurs when someone mixes doing it for the people and claiming to do it for the sake of Allah. And so the person gets reward when he does the good deed only lillahi ta'ala. The final comment about this disease is that it's very hard to overcome. It is very hard to overcome. So, my brothers and sisters, let's just reflect real quick. All you adults, including myself, you consider yourself mature, responsible, able to control yourselves. Yet, despite our maturity and responsibility and life experience and strength, it's hard for us to overcome this disease. So what about the child growing up? The one who has less maturity, the one who has less control. We're going to come back to that topic, inshallah. Okay. The next disease that we're going to mention tonight, bi'idhnillah, is called al-ujub. Al-ujub. What is al-ujub? What is al-ujub? The scholars, they say, هو شهود العبادة صادرة من النفس غائبا عن المنة. So we're going to talk about what is al-ujub. I'm going to say some words, and you'll see from the choice of these words how ugly it is. Conceit, vanity, a grandiose sense of self-importance, an exaggerated belief in being special, unique, superior to others, having a distorted self-perception because of a perverted self-assessment that leads one to think that he is to be praised for his own achievements that he did. So, what is al-ujub then? It is to view oneself, to look at oneself highly, to think that he has a specialty over others, that he is superior to others because of all the good deeds and achievements that he has done, that he did, while forgetting completely that Allah Ta'ala endowed him with the ability and the power to do everything that he did. What audacity! What audacity for a person to look at himself so highly and forget that Allah Ta'ala is the one who gave him that. Not to mention that Allah Ta'ala was not even obligated to give him that. Allah gave him that out of His grand generosity. And that slave forgets that fact and looks at himself as he's something great. What conceit, what vanity, what grandiose sense of self-importance. You see how it sounds really bad? It is something bad. May Allah protect us. So the person forgets, this person forgets that Allah granted him these achievements and these abilities. So the person is impressed with himself. He puts himself on a pedestal. Okay. Is it clear what al-ujub is? Because I'm going to keep using the term al-ujub in Arabic. Is it clear? طيب. So remember when we talked